So you've just been told that your child or a loved one watches porn and that they need help. I know right now you're probably feeling a ton of different emotions, from anger to sadness to maybe even happiness that they brought this up to you, and then back around to sadness and anger and guilt, and all these different things are swirling around in your mind and your heart. And I know that can be really tough. And I want to let you know it's okay to feel all of these emotions, but I want to remind you of one thing. You need to make sure that your child knows that you're proud of them and that they are so strong for standing up to this evil. See, this porn problem is not just affecting your child, it's affecting everyone in our society. Look at some of these stats for a second. 1 in 10 people who watch porn are 10 years old or younger. 40 million Americans watch porn on a regular basis, and 1 in 5 mobile searches are for porn. See, your child was the one that was strong enough to say, you know what, I'm going to stand up against this evil and say no more. And like I said, they need to be honored for making that decision. And I know you're probably saying, well, I get that, but how did my child get down this path? And I want to put your mind at ease for a moment. First, no matter how far your child has gone down this path, their brain can be rewired and everything can go back to normal. But second, how do they go down this path? Well, kids are curious. They got a lot of hormones going on, and that's probably not news to you. But when it first started, it was probably curiosity based. And then they started going to it a little bit more, and then all of a sudden it became a habit. But one of the reasons why they were going to it was either a past pain or trauma that they're trying to deal with, or it might have been something as simple as being hungry, angry, lonely, tired, bored, or stressed. But they were going to this to help relieve the pain of one of those things that was going on. And for me, that's exactly what happened. I was a 15-year porn addict, and it started when I was a kid. I got handed that iPhone and I started watching, and then all of a sudden it was any pain in my life that I had, I would go to that phone. And it wasn't until I had one moment of strength and vulnerability and I stood up to this problem and I asked my wife for help that I was able to beat this once and for all. And your child has just done the same. They've stood up to this problem, they've come to you for help, and now this is your opportunity to teach them the true purpose of sex, to teach them that porn is an evil thing, and help them inspire others to stand up against this evil. See, this is so much more than just a screen. You can literally help save marriages, prevent rapes from happening, prevent suicides from happening, just by helping your child stand up to this problem. And how do I know this? Well, when I stood up to this problem and my wife and I made it through this together, we felt the Lord say, raise up an army to fight this evil power. And so we did. We left our old jobs and we dove into this and we said, all right, let's learn everything we can on porn addiction and sexual addiction and everything there is out there. And then we made a course. But when we first started, we were charging a couple $1,000 for that course. And people really wanted it, but they couldn't really afford it. And then we talked to a man named David. See, David was a porn addict and he was 22 years old. He started when he was 11, but at his worst, he was looking at porn 6 to 10 times a day. And I said, David, you know what you need to do? You need to get that course. And he said, Manny, I know, but I can't afford it. You could look at my bank account. I just can't do it. And in that moment, I felt the Lord put on my heart, say, Emmanuel, tell him not to worry about it. Tell him just to do whatever he can. And so I said to David, I don't care about your money. I care about you overcoming this and being the man that you're supposed to be. And I said, just do whatever you can. And he said, well, I got $40. And I said, well, then you got the course. And he became the very first person to get our training and started to go through it. Now, here's what's amazing. I started to ask David some questions like, what's your background and what do you do? And he said, well, I'm in the Army National Reserve. I'm actually staying in the Army barracks. And I said, David, hold on. When we started this organization, the Lord told us to raise up an army to fight this evil power. And you were the first person to get started with this. And your name is David, God's mighty warrior who took down Goliath. You're in the Army National Reserve and you're at the Army barracks. I mean, if that isn't a God moment, I don't know what is. But here's what else was amazing. David took that course and his whole life was transformed. Not only did he quit watching porn for good, but he got into the best shape of his life. He changed jobs. He's making more money now. His relationships have improved and he's gotten married to his bride and now they're expecting their first child. And David was so successful going through this process that we said, you know what? If we have the medicine for those people who are going through this and we can help them, we need to change the way we're thinking. So we became a nonprofit and we made our course extremely affordable so that way anyone could have access to this healing if they wanted it. And what was amazing is when we did that, in our very first year of getting started, we had over 350 students from across the world, over 25 countries in fact, get that course and start finding freedom from porn. And your child is someone who's saying, I want to stand up and fight and I want to be a part of this army and I want to take down this evil that's tearing apart marriages, that's tearing apart families, that's bringing anger and violence against women and children. And they're saying, no, I am going to stand for righteousness, for goodness, for the Lord. And now you have the opportunity to help them through this fight. At Team Vulnerable, we don't only help parents and children overcome porn addictions as a team, we also help married couples and people who are single, who are adults, who are saying, you know what, I've had enough with this evil taking away the life that I was supposed to live. And so if that's you, and maybe you're in this situation, we have help for you in this process as well. Now, I know I went through a lot right there, and we have a parent's guide for you in the description of this video. It's going to go over how to communicate with your child. It's going to go over a lot of those commonly asked questions that are probably in your head right now. So I want you to download that. I want you to have that. I want you to read that before you reach back out to your child and start helping them through this process. But we have a course, and it's designed for you both to go through it together. So if you're saying, you know what, I've had enough with this evil and I want to stand up against this, then go to our website at teamvulnerable.com and get our course, or click the link in the description and get started on that course. Last, I just want to say, if you need anything, I mean anything at all, if we can help you in any way, reach out to us. Let us know what we can do, because your child can literally change the world by making this decision and standing up, but they're going to need a team around them, and that's you. So if we can help you in any way, please let us know. And so, like I said, get that parent's guide, get started with that course, and we welcome you to join us at Team Vulnerable.